It was like being in jail. Jailed by the reality police. I put my ear to the door, listening. I could hear Lacey, Bruce, and Wayne talking in the other room. He'll have to drink the sleeping potion, Wayne said. Make sure he drinks the whole cup or he might wake up. But what if he spits it out? Lacey asked. What if he doesn't swallow it? I'll make him swallow it, Bruce vowed. Yikes, I couldn't listen anymore. I frantically paced the room. I was so horny.
You can't scare me. Not with the basement of botany. Maybe a sentient dummy. Calling all creep.
Boo Dudes, welcome to another episode. Can't be more excited for this one of Calling All Creeps. I am your host, Hyundai Sonata, and I'm here with a Kia Forte.
Hello.
Beep beep, beep beep, Dave.
Coming through.
We got this like Cars 4 in here.
I'm a mid-sized sedan. No.
That's
Forte.
right.
Am I an SUV? I don't know. Crossover.
Who knows?
One of those.
I don't know. I was telling Dave that, some people, shout out listener Isaac, ask me what my process is for naming us at the top of every show, and I have to divulge the secret. There's no process at all. I just kind of look around the room or pull something out of my ass, and in this case, I looked out the window at the cars in the parking lot. So there we are. And I think that about does it for this episode, Dave, don't you think?
Oh, wait. We should probably talk about this book.
Okay, well,
on second
let's
thought,
do that
I just
then.
realized what book we were talking about. I thought
Dave,
I thought it was going to be a good one. I thought this was going to be a respite from the fucking shitters we've been getting from our good old buddy RLS.
I'm wondering if it does get better. I have high hopes for The Blob, and I have high hopes for Curse of Camp Cold Lake.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like, I think just the latter part of the canon isn't the best.
Yeah, I mean, 62 books after 50 books. Like, if we had to sit down and think of like spooky, child appropriate storylines, like 50, we would start. We would be like, well, what if they're a chicken? I'd be like, all right, right.
Yeah.
But this book kind of like, by the way, the book is called Don't Go to Sleep. So just looking at the cover, it's classic Goosebumps covers. It's purple and like a nice pea green, not like, not like pee green, not urine, but like a peas, like the vegetable.
Yeah. Right.
And you see a hairy ass hand reaching up, and you get the back of a kid's head who's sleeping in a bed, and you see the lightning out the window, and it's like that curved fisheye. It's a Jacobus nightmare. It's awesome. It's very, very
cool.
Good cover. And the title, Don't Go to Sleep. I mean, you're thinking like Nightmare on Elm Street, like one of those. Yeah.
Don't go to sleep, bitch.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm a child murderer, bitch. My fingernails hurt. I made this in the boiler room.
Yeah. What a
Bitch.
shitty hideout, shitty lair.
Great movie, though.
Great movies.
They're good ones. The first one is very legit and awesome. Then they get wacky and wackier. Dream Warriors, Stand By, it's awesome. But yeah. But like this cover and story, just judging a book on its cover, I think when they say don't judge a book by its cover, it's supposed to be like, if it looks dumb, still give it a try. You really got to experience it. But like, this one looks cool.
Yeah.
But the inside is dumb.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think that's the case for most of these, right? It's like the art is usually pretty cool. And the stories, it's a kind of a crapshoot. And this is frustrating for a few reasons. One is, it's everything you outlined, right? Like the art is super cool, but this book has nothing to do with a fucking monster under your bed, right? As this cover would indicate. Second is the title, Don't Go to Sleep, which you, as you said, would be indicative of some sort of Freddy situation where you are in trouble in your dreams. There's not even any dreams in this book. So it's really just a total curveball. The story does not match the intensity, and I don't know how cool the cover is.
Looking at this cover too, it's funny because it's just like a very generic room. Like I said, fish-eyed. It kind of wraps around. There's like a warty, hairy hand reaching up. But on his dresser, look over there. It's very strange because it looks like we get the red Chuck Taylors. Yeah. Even though the kid's in bed, we still have one shoe up there, which is like, cool, that's the Jacobus trademark. Yeah. The ball next to it is like the fucking like
Chucky Finster ball.
It's legit the Chucky Finster ball that I feel like is also in Toy Story. It's like the yellow and red ball with the blue star, very generic. And he like worked so hard on that, but the rest is just like, I don't know, paper bags and a lot of khakis.
Right. Yeah.
Like 8. I don't know. I don't want to knock this cover because it's a good cover and there's enough shit to knock inside the book.
He also got how small the room is, because that's a big part of the book is Matt. Hey, nice name.
I think it's a really good name for a good-looking dude.
Hell yeah. Rhymes with fat.
Yeah.
Rhymes
Splat.
with splat.
Democrat.
Yep, that's right, baby.
Yasser Arafat.
Yep. Jumping Jehoshaphat's, lest we forget.
Shat. The past tense of shit.
Mm-hmm. Bureaucrat. Other things that have crat in them. So, you ever
we're really running out of steam on this podcast, aren't we? We're like, ooh, what about cat or dats? Like, you're mispronouncing the word that. Like,
this is great content.
This is 3 hours of us rhyming.
When we get like really nice compliments on social media and things like that, people are definitely talking about this shit. Yeah. People love this content.
You sure haven't caught up to the most recent episodes.
Those people are going to stop at episode 33.
They're just going to go over and like turn off their car radio or their iPhone or whatever. And they're going to be like, hey, fuck you. And just turn it off. Just say it to us silently across the world. Hey,
do you value your time? Maybe don't listen to this podcast.
Well, it's unfair because we didn't value our time enough to actually not read this book. So
that's true. Hey, I do want to read. I've gotten these cards in these books, and I'm going to hold this up to the camera, Dave. This is from my OG collection, and this is an unscathed page of cards and a bookmark here with Slappy on it. And let me just go through this card to get a little insight on the book before you delve deeper in the book.
Yeah, and famously enough, these are like usually you get facts, like deep inside facts about the current book, which are famously wrong.
Yeah.
And also you get facts about the upcoming book. And also those details, the little preview of the plot, are also made up and not correct. So I'm very and you also get like a list. It's like, what would Slappy do if he was making a soup? And be like, number 1, find a chicken. And you're like, what is this? It's not a joke.
You know how you can conjure a chicken, Dave?
How?
Say chicken.
Oh shit! I fell right into that one.
You got it, baby. So there are some characters in here. It doesn't matter. We're going to talk about them anyway. The setting is the nice big guest room, sort of, and then 4 dots. The say what section is I'll never sleep in the guest room again. Okay.
All right.
And the real deal, my favorite part. This is the R.L. Stine quote.
Yeah.
Let's see if he could top the one about somebody jumping off the Empire State Building. This story is about a boy whose life changes completely every time he goes to sleep. Know what I did as soon as I finished writing it? You guessed it. I took a nap.
Aw. You know what I wanted to do the entire time I was reading it? Same thing.
Yeah, take the eternal sleep, the endless nap.
I wanted to say my book also came with a card.
It did? Oh, yes, it did.
So I opened up my book, and in the back, it's like very worn, and there is a perfect rectangle, and I had to pry out this Magic the Gathering card.
Now, I don't know anything about Magic, but there's a character on there.
There is a character. It's a drag. It's like a bird dragon.
Okay.
And this is a Magic card from the bottom says. So it's 2002. This is a Magic card from.
All right.
And it is a Hydromorph Gull. And it's like a blue. It looks like a really mad seagull, but it's like a dragon and it's blue. Mm-hmm. It is a creature, Bird Guardian, and its move is flying. Sacrifice Hydromorph Gull counter target spell that targets one or more creatures you control. Obviously, right?
Yeah, I already knew that. Mm-hmm.
And the quote, they have a quote on it, and it says, "The only kind of water that should fly through the air is rain." Oh, so they're like talking shit on the Hydromorph Gull. Because I guess he's like a water bird that flies, and someone else is just kind of like...
That's a natural, we should kill it.
Yeah, this is Kamal, the pit fighter. But it's pretty shitty. Like, I'm on the Hydromorph Gull side. Because it sounds like this guy, he's like, the only love I represent is between a man and a woman. And I'm like, fuck you, pit fighter. He's like, the only water I want to see in the sky is rain, perhaps snow, but technically that's a different form, as it's more of a sign. I'm like, fuck you, pit fighter. And then he would kick my ass.
Well, pit fighter, he's gonna demolish us.
Yeah,
both.
but anybody who fights in pits has really bad takes. Cara Dune.
Do you think they call him pit fighter just because he has really stinky armpits?
Or
that could be.
No, he would be deodorant then.
Okay. Yep.
No, he sounds way more like, like Joe Rogan would announce him or some shit. Like
Did you call him Joel Rogan?
Joe Rogan.
I like Joel.
In the world of Magic the Gathering, it's Joel Rogan.
I think who gives a shit about that guy? Let's call him Joel.
Joel Rogan.
Just like have to endure 90 minutes of like bro science and whatever the fuck he talks about.
Wouldn't that be incredible if our No One Cares About podcast started like a podcast feud with Joe Rogan?
What you mean us versus the Joe Rogan experience?
The Joe Rogan experience, yeah. Like how like some back in the day it'd be like Opie and Anthony is in a fight with Howard Stern.
Right.
And it'd be like, oh shit. Or it's like, WCW versus WWF. But this would be like WWF versus Mrs. Goodman's 4th grade class.
Yeah.
Like it would just be he'd be like, we're better, and we would be like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. Didn't he got like $1 billion contract from Spotify or some shit? So, I mean,
probably.
Whatever, money talks.
He just seems like the kind of guy that would like write a whole book about why he should be allowed to call a woman a bitch.
Yeah, 100%.
And then somebody would read it and be like, I never thought about it that way. Anyway,
yeah,
I don't know.
He's like a Meninist libertarian.
I don't know enough about Joe Rogan to shit on him. That's just what I get from him.
You can gather a certain amount of information.
I'm just pulling all of this knowledge from the distressed American flag that he has in the background.
Sure.
Yeah. What like Levi's jean ad are you? I don't get it. But also it's like he worked for UFC and distressed American flag. That's all I got.
He's sort of like an Ed Hardy guy.
Oh, he's like a Hardy boy. Hardy brother.
He's a Hardy boy.
He's Matt Hardy. He's Jeff Hardy's Matt Hardy. Joel Rogan Hardy.
When I was younger, somebody, and I loved WWF at the time, and somebody told me that the Hardy Boys shopped at Hot Topic, and I was like, that's fucking cool as hell. What could be cooler than that?
Sometimes I would I would stretch my forearms. I used to like drum and stuff like that. And like when I was like in middle school or whatever, and like my forearms would hurt after a while. When I would stretch, I would do like the Hardy Boy hands.
Oh yeah.
Just to myself. Like just to myself, like aiming out. Just because it was like, oh, this is cool. It was like my little, so cool. I'm just being real neat and cool to myself. It would have been so much cooler if my mom would buy me UFO pants like I wanted.
Yeah, I mean, the best. I also used to put on WWF Volume 4 in my room and practice wrestling moves. Yeah,
Same thing.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wrestling moves. I put my my dick in a sleeper hold until it threw up.
The figure 4 jerk lock.
Yeah. The walls of jerking off.
Yeah. The worm.
Or like the centipede.
Yeah. The rock bottom. Been there. So this book is called Don't Go to Sleep. It's book 54. We're so fucking close.
We're so close, and I'm so tired.
Close. We're so close. We're so tired. This book came out in April of 1997.
Oh my God.
Another thing I realized, this is wild. You're drinking a real big water. I could hear it. And see it. It's nuts.
Yeah, a little
Is that
Foley work?
Is that the one from Whole Foods that's like a huge alkaline water and it's like $1.70 and you get like more water than the government can supply to people in Texas currently?
Correct. Yeah. I might just take a little trip to Cancun. What do you think about that?
Oh man, I think you're cruising.
I'm cruising for a bruising. This is an electrolyte water.
Yeah, I buy those. It's good because it's what your body craves.
Hell yeah, it does.
Anyway, if you can tell, I'm in it's been a long ass day and I've been in a fuck this shit mood for a while.
Yeah, that's fine. You know what? We should enjoy ourselves. Let's talk about what we want to talk about.
I want to talk about the number. I don't even want to talk about the song because it can't hold me down again. But I really want to talk about these movies.
Okay.
Top 2 movies this month was Anaconda.
Oh, sure.
That movie was fucking nuts. It was just people like going, I don't even know why they were there, but they went there and then a big snake. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. It
Sure.
was like, there were so many movies in the 90s that was kind of like, whoa, Jurassic Park did well? Sick. We're just going to drop people in some sort of jungle setting and there'll be like an animal who, if you saw one in real life, like maybe someone would bring it to your school and you could pet it. But it's like a meaner one. So there was Anaconda and was like, who was in that? Was that another
J-Lo?
like J-Lo? Yeah. Mm-hmm. J-Lo was in it.
Fucking
Joel Leguizamo. I don't know.
I think Joel Rogan was in it.
I'm calling everybody Joel.
LL Cool J.
Because there was like Congo and like all these like Deep Blue Sea
for
and
sure.
all these. It was just like, yeah, what animal you got? Let's just make it big and mad. And the other thing was natural disasters, but like, what if this happened in America? In a city?
Yeah.
And that's why the second movie was Volcano.
Sure. I still think there's a contingent of people who love disaster movies.
Yeah.
And so they still come out with one like every 4 years or so. It's like a president.
But you remember, like, I can think just off the top of my head, there was like Daylight. That was the one where they're like stuck in the Hudson, stuck in the tunnel.
Oh, okay.
I don't forget which tunnel it is going into New York City. I don't know.
Sure.
But like there's
Lincoln? Holland?
Probably,
it's got to be one of those.
Probably Lincoln. It's probably Lincoln. I don't think the Holland Tunnel gets enough press. That's what I usually take, but I think people would be like, the Holland Tunnel, and they'd be like, we don't fucking care. But Lincoln's
much more
they'd be like, well, what about the Apple billboards at the top that are always there? So it's like an earthquake, and then it's about like people that are stuck in the tunnel as like the water's coming through.
Yeah.
And then there was
scary.
It is scary. Then there's Volcano, which is like just volcanoes just start shooting out of the ground in like San Francisco or some shit.
Yeah.
Then there's like Backdraft, which is about like wildfires.
Yeah, that was early 90s, right? Or mid 90s.
Yeah. Then there's Twister.
So was Twister, yep.
Yeah.
And then later, like more recent, 2012.
Diarrhea
right?
Storm, where everyone gets
Diarrhea
diarrhea.
Storm. Yep. There was Cum Disaster, which was horrific. There was the Spray Monster.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Monstered. Yep.
That's a real movie, by the way.
That's
a great. Did you watch it with us in college?
Oh, I think I did.
It's a movie about a giant. It's called Monstered.
Mm-hmm.
This is the weird. I worked at Five Below on breaks for college and like in high school, and I went back there every now and then and helped out. And like, there was a manager that was like covering, and him and his friend worked at a Blockbuster near like the end of Blockbuster, and him and his other buddy, they're like, yeah, no one cares anymore. They don't give a shit if we steal stuff. They don't care anything. So him and his buddy literally just put on ski masks, came in with garbage bags. This is a story that was told to me, and just unloaded all the DVDs for sale and robbed him while he was working.
That's kind of fucked.
And he told me this story, and we were like, bullshit. Like, me and my friend, he's like, no, I swear to God, take whatever you want. Here's the key to my car. We went out. He had like an old fucking Buick. It was like a key open back. We opened it up, and lo and behold, in the back, there were just garbage bags of like
DVDs.
still tagged, like priced, sealed like DVDs from Blockbuster. And they were all like the worst ones. They were probably ones they were throwing away. He just wanted to be tough to like
Yeah,
a
right.
fucking fresh college freshman. And one of them was Monster'd, which is like, it was literally about like a giant poop, and then they put like they start like throwing toilet paper at it to stop it and spraying it with
Yeah.
like any sort of pink medicine that makes
Yeah,
your poop
I do
not
have
so bad.
vague recollections of this, of
And-
us watching this.
They're going through the sewers trying to call it, and all they're doing is making fart noises with their mouth. And it's like adults who spent money and time to make this movie.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, worth it. I would have fun with that, for sure.
It seems like
Yeah.
something we would like make on the podcast as a joke, but I don't think we would ever invest any money into.
No, I don't want to do it, but I want to laugh at the joke. You
Yeah.
know?
I just want to laugh. I just want to like laugh.
Yeah. You know what's the best? Just like an LOL. Just like when you do an LOL,
You know,
it
like
just makes me feel good.
there's like good times in life, and some of the times that I remember the most that were especially good
Yeah.
were like the jokes.
Yeah. Sometimes I like smiling is nice. I don't know what it is.
A joke can make like a smile laugh. I'm so fucking done. I have 2 beers and I want a third because I'm just mad. Let's go through the month. So on April 5th, which is my older brother's birthday,
Hey, happy birthday.
happy birthday, older brother, Allen Ginsberg, American beat poet, fucking died of liver cancer.
Yeah.
And
well,
from complications of hepatitis
oof.
at the age of 70.
Okay, R.I.P. Nice
I'd have-
poems, dude.
I had a fish named after him in our
That's
college dorm.
right.
Remember Alan Finsberg?
I do.
He lived with Zuma Kroom and David Swimmer.
David Swimmer.
Also on the same day, it's like you lose culture, you gain culture. Steve Irwin's The Crocodile Hunter debuted.
Oh, that one is sad, even though it's not directly sad.
It's not said yet.
It's not sad
know.
yet. It's gonna
was a-
get very sad.
He was a good dude.
Yeah,
Apparently
that's what
he
I
was
hear.
like a really good guy. So
Yeah, and what a
On-
freak thing! Like I still like don't believe it. You know?
I remember like my like uncle being like, "You gotta watch this show. It's just a guy. He sees like a giant crocodile, and he's just like, oh, what?" and just like jumps on it. It's
That's
fucking
so-
wild.
yeah.
He just dives on it.
Yeah, but isn't that's a crazy thing too, right? Like that is, I mean, I sound stupid, but it's that sounds like his death is very fateful, obviously, but it's also like you said, like he like stuck his balls in crocodiles' mouths
And it was fine.
20 times a day. Yeah,
Because like
he
the
was
story,
totally fine.
like April 5th, The Crocodile Hunter debuts. My uncle is like, you should see this guy just fucking jumps on crocodiles. It should
Yeah.
be like April 6th. Crocodile hunter eaten by crocodile.
Yeah, for
Like,
sure.
But it was crazy. It was just like a whole story later. And I think his show, he was an advocate for animals. He
Yeah.
did so many different things. And he
Conservation.
did this wild shit that like even now, like I could see it being like a million billion viewed YouTube video that's like man yeets self at crocodile. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but yeah, so
yeets.
yeets self.
The word slipped by me because I'm so not used to it.
That's a word that I hear every now and then, and I love using in like proper like someone who doesn't understand it.
What
'Cause
does
people,
it
like,
mean?
It just means like remember when we were throwing microwaves into a dumpster for that video for Adam?
Oh yeah,
That or like when we used to like throw TVs out windows and shit like back in the day.
Sure.
That's like yeeting the TV. It's just like fuck, like
Destroy
it's
it?
to yeet it, to like toss it at something, to like destroy, just
Okay.
like fire it out. Yeah, so
Got
I
it.
love saying it in like very like proper. And just being like, oh, we do have a lot of recycling. Perhaps we can yeet it out into the garbage.
I like it. I like that it's like a verb that has movement. It's like
It does, yeah.
It's very nice.
It's like fuck.
Yeah, right.
Where it's like, oh, I fucked it.
Yeah, it helps. It just feels good on your tongue.
It does. So, yeah, like I would love to yeet this book
Yeah, for sure.
at an open yeet furno. Yeet in it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeast of Yeaton.
Yeah. Oh, no, I got a yeets infection.
If you want to bake bread, make sure you use yeats, otherwise it won't rise.
Speaking of Allen Ginsberg, have you read Yeats? Now that's a highbrow joke.
William Butler
That's
Yeats. I know.
It's so funny. I called them Yeats once in class. I remember being like, "What about Yeats?" And they're like, "Oh, fuck you." There's in Sopranos. He's talking. AJ starts getting into psychology, and he just constantly pronounces everybody's names wrong.
Yes,
It's really
they all
funny.
do.
It's so good.
It's so good, and I think a point that needs to be made more is that not only is Sopranos, which I'm in season 5 right now, and it's not only one of the best shows I think of all time, but it's also one of the funniest. If you watch this show and you think it's like cool and it like glorifies the mob and it like makes them look cool, then you watched it wrong, because everyone looks bad and sad, and they're all.
But also, if you're from New Jersey with an Italian family, it is characters of people you know.
100%. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're all like. There was just an episode I watched where Tony's psychiatrist read a note that Tony wrote, and it was like he spelled regards like RIGARDS and stuff like this. It's just very. What was the thing I liked so much? Fuck. There was this thing early on that like I couldn't get enough of. It'll come to me. It doesn't matter. Great show though.
Yeah. Brazil! But on April 13th, Tiger Woods won his first major title. There's a lot of golf talk here. Something about 12 strokes. I just wanted to put that in there because I'm excited that Mario Golf's coming to Switch.
Yeah.
And then on April 15th, baseball honors Jackie Robinson by retiring number 42 for all teams.
Hey, good.
I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then on the same day, Maisie Williams, actress of Game of Thrones, is born.
Right. Girl has many names or whatever the fuck.
She's got many faces.
Many
Pull her
faces,
face
no
off.
name. That's right.
A girl has no name, but happy birthday. And then on April 30th, 42 million people watched as Ellen DeGeneres publicly declared that she is gay.
A lot of 42s in this rundown.
Sure is. But that blew my mind. That like
That's a high number.
But no, not only that, but like now, imagine if like a TV host was just like, "I am gay," and people would be like, "And like, what do you? Who fucking cares?"
Right.
But it's crazy that this is not that long ago, and I mean, two things: we have baseball honoring one of their biggest and first. I know there was a lot of different people in the world of baseball at that point, but African American star, and that was like a big deal, of course. And at the same time, a talk show host was like, "I am openly a homosexual," and it was like new. It was news.
Yeah, it was.
Come a long way.
Yeah, I mean, the important to note too that like Jackie Robinson was playing what in the 40s and faced. You wonder like why did he keep
even
doing it? Yeah, because he like I think he went from the Negro Leagues to, he was drafted onto an actual team, but his both like teammates and crowds would like throw stuff at him, racial epithets constantly. Like it was like
his
horrendous.
Teammates,
like threats,
it was
death
just
threats.
Yeah,
and and that's horrendous. And then 50 years later, we're finally in a place where like only half the people who heard that announcement were mad. Probably, it's
crazy.
Still not great, but.
And also thinking about, they're like, well, baseball was different back then and stuff. Like, we say like baseball is like huge now, and you think about how much people are paid. So this is a fun fact I learned. Do you know that at one point, Babe Ruth made more money than the current sitting American president?
Yeah.
And when they asked him, do you think it's crazy that you were paid more money last year than the current president? His answer to that was like, check the stats. I had a better year.
That's a good answer. It also is fucking irrelevant. Like, it's stupid.
It's insane.
Like,
It's crazy.
I mean,
But
today,
yeah.
I mean, the president now makes $400,000 a year. That's like the income of the president. So I'm pretty sure Mike Trout got a $400 million contract. So
Yeah, but Biden hasn't hit a single home run.
he can't even swing the bat. The fucking
Well, he did beat his
Geriatric.
he did beat his like granddaughter or great granddaughter
With a bat?
at Mario Kart playing as Luigi.
Okay. Wait. Hey, listen. Give me my $2,000, and then we can talk.
I was gonna say, but to be fair, Trout hasn't given me any.
That's true. Honestly, at this point, I like Trump more than Trout because Trump gave me $1,800. Trout hasn't given me anything.
Let's talk about this book. So, did you know that Matt, the main character, whose his sister's name is Pamela, Pam?
Anderson?
No,
Oh.
Stein,
Oh.
because Pam is named after R.L. Stein's sister, Pamela.
I'm more of a Jim person. If we had to take sides.
I get it.
I like the
Okay.
faces.
I was kind of blown away that well, we'll talk about this book has an episode,
Yeah.
which I'm excited to see because it's a fucking weird one, and there needs
Yeah.
to be special effects, and one thing they hated doing was spending money on this children's
That's
Canadian
true.
program.
I'm actually curious to watch. We've watched some of them together, but I'd be curious to watch more of them now that we've read more of the books.
For sure. Also, the print advertisement for Don't Go to Sleep says the protagonist's name is Cole. Which is wrong. Like we were
Yeah,
saying
yeah.
before, that they're always like, would you like a sneak peek of the next book?
Yeah, it's not written
Like,
yet, but here's the sneak
It's not
peek.
written, but like it's fucking
Like the chapters at the end of the book are the only ones he's written.
yeah. He just doesn't fucking care. Yeah, it was an important note. The main character, it appeared in Chicken, of course. There was nothing good in Chicken, not even
No.
about another book. There's also an error on page 2.
Prove
It
it.
says, how can Matt can stand it?
How can Matt can't stand it? Now I speed read this book anyway, so I definitely
I did
missed
too.
that.
I missed it. And it should say, how can Matt stand it?
Mm.
And it says that this has yet to be fixed in any reprint.
Yeah, there it is, the middle of the page. How can Matt can stand it?
So even when they have made fucking like in 2018 they altered the scene where Matt wakes up as an overweight kid.
Yeah.
They omitted the
Good.
line where he calls himself a real blimp.
Yeah.
But they were like grammatical typo. Nah, fuck it.
Fuck
Keep
it. It's not worth it.
Matt's mother's maiden name is not mentioned, but she is credited as Laura Amsterdam in the TV episode.
Okay.
There's a Bruce Wayne Batman joke. The two cops are named Bruce and Wayne. It's fucking dumb.
Yeah.
In France, it was the 37th book, and it was called Nuits de Kashima. Also, it is translated as Nightmarish Nights in English.
Okay.
Interesting.
It's a hat on a hat, but I like it.
Still, just like this title, it has nothing to fucking do.
Yeah, nothing to do
I
with
mean,
the
this
book.
one's closer, but that one has nothing to do with the book.
Yeah.
In the ending credits animation for the Goosebumps film, there is a reality police department sign
Oh.
that shows up, which interesting that they would go that deep. Either Bruce or Wayne is played by actor Anthony DeLongis, who played Blade, a made-up character in the Masters of the Universe movie, the He-Man movie.
Oh.
He was like they made up a bad guy. And then famous hockey man Don Cherry,
Okay.
like the Canadian, he was like the John Madden of hockey.
Okay.
Played a character named Coach in the TV episode.
Okay. Hey, I've been playing a lot of Left 4 Dead 2 lately. Came out a
Nice.
decade ago. Wait, 12, 13 years ago. And
Shit.
and I like playing as Coach.
Oh. I think Don Cherry, he finally stepped down and he was saying some problematic shit.
Oh,
people were
sure.
like, "Ugh." He just like wears weird suits and had like a funny dog
God.
that he would always have. But
Sportscasters, there are a lot of unseemly takes and things said by sportscasters.
yeah, who would have thought?
Yeah,
Because the only jock I really know is our good jock goth friend from
That's
last
right.
episode, Brian.
and all he does is eat devil cakes and raw meat, which is nice, not mean.
Yeah. I hope he enjoyed the big game.
Yeah, that's right. I can't believe that team won.
Yeah, it was Trump's friend, Tom Brady.
yeah. Yeah. What are we calling fucking Joe Rogan? Oh, yeah, Joel Brady.
Joel Brady. So Matt Amsterdam
Yes.
is a geek.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a nerd. This book.
You just started. You were like, let's talk about this book.
Yeah.
Deep sigh.
Because here's my issue with this book is it has no first act. It's all second and third act. It's mostly second act. And the second act is that, okay, so Matt has a small room. He doesn't like it. He has two siblings, Greg and Beatrice, or whatever the fuck.
Pam.
And like I said, more of a gym guy. And he wants a bigger room, which is the guest room, but his mom doesn't let him have it. And he's like,
But I like the mom.
yeah, the mom's cool.
Because she's like a single mom.
Yes.
She's a widow. His dad died when he was like a baby.
Yeah.
And she works like 3 jobs and really needs the kids to like provide and cook and help
Right.
out.
So the siblings are older and they look after Matt when mom's working all the time.
Yeah.
But they need the guest room for guests. So Matt can't have it. But as a little light form of protest that night, he does go to sleep in that bed and he wakes up in an entirely different reality where he is an older boy in high school. And now from here, we'll go through all the permutations of the different realities, but that's the book. Is Matt goes to sleep, wakes up, and things are different. And then ultimately there are 2 people who accuse him of breaking reality inadvertently, try to jail him, and he has to try to escape them. That's the whole book,
Yeah.
right?
That's
we
it.
don't really even need to go beyond that, but we'll talk about some of the realities because some of them are funny, I guess.
I mean,
the
guess.
lizard one's kind of funny.
Yeah.
I get,
But-
you know.
Like basically he's 16 and he has to go to high school and he's confused.
Yeah. He wakes up and he's like, my feet are bigger. And then he looks down his boxers and he's like, my dick is smaller?
Yeah.
And then he looks in the mirror and it's me, Matt,
Is this
host of Calling All Creeps.
That's the big twist.
Yeah, that's right. Break the fourth wall.
Yeah, so he's in high school and like a bully wants to kick his ass and
Yeah.
he's in calculus class and then he's in English class and they're trying to make him read Tolstoy.
Like Anna Karina or something. And he's like stumbling
Yeah.
all over these fucking names.
No, but I had to Google it and I was like, oh, it is legit Tolstoy.
Yeah.
I had no idea what Anna Karenina is.
Yeah. We didn't read shit. We read like Catcher in the Rye.
Yeah. And he was like, these words are so fucking big, I don't even know what the fuck. Like,
Yeah.
and he's losing it because he doesn't know what's going on. And like the bully wants to kick his ass. He goes to the principal's office and the principal doesn't believe him. And he goes to gym and he's like stronger because he's got those teen muscles. And he's
Right.
like pitching like a volleyball so hard into like a girl's face.
Yeah.
She like falls down. And he runs home and bumps into a little girl named Lacey, and then he gets so upset that he goes to sleep. But his room is like his brother's room or some shit. There's always like a point where he wants to go back to his bed and go to sleep because the day has been terrible, as some alternate reality Into the Spider-Verse version of him.
Yeah.
And he just ends up going to sleep in the guest room.
Right. Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah, and there's also like everybody's affected by it. It's not just him. So like sometimes he doesn't have a brother and sister. Sometimes they're different ages. Sometimes he has a dog. Sometimes he doesn't. Sometimes his mom doesn't know who he is.
Oh, and also we didn't say he lives with his dog named Biggie,
Yeah.
who the whole family loves, but all he does is attack and bite him.
Right.
Just like if I had a pet that would harm my child that it lived with, I'd probably like address that.
I'd do something about it, probably.
Yeah.
But, you know, she's
like,
busy.
The dog bites him.
Yeah.
And his mom's just like, stop bothering the dog.
Yeah. But then also, like, is the dog, look, I'm not trying to victim blame here, but is the dog really biting? Or is this a little, like, puppy, like, nip situation? You know?
Well, there was the whole point where like Matt was talking about all the peanut butter. He was just rubbing on his dick.
That's right. Yeah. He does try to seal, he thinks it's glue, and he tries to seal his asshole for some reason. What? And so
I don't even get.
So
like, I don't get that joke. Like, how is that helpful to anyone? Is he just gonna continue to? He's like, I don't want anyone to have my shit. I need it for myself. I need to keep it for myself.
Look, he's a conspiracy theorist. He thinks the government's going to analyze his stool.
He learned it from listening to Joel Rogan.
Joel Rogan said, like, you do a full body cleanse. You glue your asshole shut for 3 days, and then on the fourth day, you cut the glue and you just release everything at once. You take a shit so big you need 2 toilets. So he does this. He goes in the bathroom. He puts down a bedpan and he sits on the toilet because he knows there's going to be overflow.
There's going to be, you know.
But the peanut butter is ineffective.
He sets up sandbags in front of the door. It's a disaster movie in there. Yeah. It's definitely 1997.
It's 2012 in there.
Ugh.
The dog likes licking his asshole. Okay.
Yeah, so he goes to sleep and he wakes up and he's like is he the right age again? Oh no, he's like 8 years old.
Yeah, he's tiny.
But he doesn't have brother and sister anymore. And he has like a different mom and dad.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because the dad's like, what's wrong? And he's like, you died when I was a baby. And they're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, they answer that pretty, I don't know, just pretty head on. They're just like, no, I'm alive. All right, go to school.
And he's like, oh, my bad.
Yeah.
And he goes to school, and there's people that are like waiting for him there again.
Yeah.
And he sees Lacey, and he has first period lunch.
Right, 8:30 a.m.
Which is crazy because they're like, yeah, school's overcrowded, so they give people lunch first, and then they have to starve the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Which, this is the point of the book where I had hope that it was a play on nightmares and dreams.
For sure.
Where it was all a dream, which is always a cop-out, but, like, how many times have you had a dream where, like a lot of times he goes to high school and he doesn't know where his next class is, and he's in trouble, and he goes to school and he hasn't done his homework, and you go to, like, I've had those dreams.
Oh, yeah.
And it would be such a dream thing as if it's like a person you met recently who didn't even go to school with you is at your high school and you have lunch for the first period for no reason. Like,
yeah,
it's set up in a masterful way to be like, this is how dreams work, without being like, hey, it's a dream. He did a good job, but that, weirdly enough, was not what he was going for at all.
No. Yeah, I mean, the title's a setup for it, right? Like, you assume dreams are going to be involved, but it's not really about sleeping at all. But the first reality, especially, I was like, okay, this is a dream. But no, it's just, I mean, it is supposed to be shifting. He's like Doctor Strange.
Yeah. It's kind of like in the beginning, you think it's a nightmare dream book. And then they shift it to a haunted bed book. And then
yeah.
they switch it to like a fucked up like the Matrix-esque reality fucking I don't know.
Yeah, except he can't make what he wants. He
Yeah.
he just has to like hope for a better reality. But then and the thread here is like there are always bullies when it's in school, and then it escalates to a point where there are like two guys in black chasing him, and there's also always Lacey.
Yeah.
And she's usually a friend and someone who like sort of understands in a way. She's like a home base for him, kind of. But yeah,
It's Inception.
yeah,
He's being incepted.
yep. A movie I don't remember at all, but I definitely saw.
I definitely saw it too. I think we saw it together in theaters. Perhaps.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, sounds about right. But who cares?
Who gives a shit?
Yeah, but then he always ends up running home because fuck shit. And then like he goes to sleep and wakes up and a monkey bites him.
Oh, that's
And
right.
his-
I forgot about this.
and
reality.
his dad is an evil Santa Claus.
Yeah, yeah.
And he has 8 brothers and sisters.
Yeah, and they're all like
Or 6 brothers and
they're all
sisters.
circus folk. It's so fucking wild. Literally, like a monkey bites him, and or no, like digs his claws into him, and yeah, his thing at the circus today is he has to like go into a lion's cage and like pull its tail or some shit.
He has to ride the lion, and he says like, you have to do this because your brother no longer can use his left hand
Yeah,
from when the tiger bit him.
he was jacking it too hard. He started a fire. But when he's in the cage with the lion, he's like, I'm not fucking going to this cage. And then the guys in black chase him into this reality, and they're there. And so he's like, all right, I guess I'll go in the cage. And he's able to like fend off the guys in black with the tiger, lion,
Yeah.
whatever.
And like he had a bad day at circus, so he goes and there's like his like brothers and sisters are doing like circus stunts in his old bedroom, so he goes to sleep in the guest room again.
Right.
And wakes up as a big green monster,
Yeah.
and there's no family at his house.
No, and he tries to communicate, but it comes out all as like monster noises.
He eats a car.
He does. He loves metal.
He just like terrorizes the town and eats a car. And he's just like, I need to find Lacey. Lacey's the only one that still exists. As a monster, I should probably just go find Lacey. He finds Lacey, and she like brings him into the deep woods to like a little castle house thing. And the Men in Black are there, and Tommy Lee Jones, and Edgar's there, and he's like, sugar
in water.
sugar water. Yeah, and they lock him in a room. And they put like a real tight net around him so he can't monster his way out.
Yeah, and it's not metal, his favorite food, so he can't eat it.
Yeah. So he decides, I'll go to sleep and wake up as like a boy, and then I can escape.
Yeah.
He goes to because he's nervous because he listens through the door, and they're like, "Listen, this kid," or actually, I think they tell him that he basically is going through a reality warp.
Yeah.
And they are the reality police.
Right.
So every time he goes to bed, because he went into like a wormhole that just exists in his guest bedroom. So anytime he falls asleep, it warps reality into a new dimension and it changes the existence for everybody.
Yeah.
And they were like, we kidnapped you and we have to figure out how to fix this. And they shut the door and then start talking loudly on the other side. And they're like, we should just fucking kill him. They're like, let's mix a poison that'll make him die. And that's like their answer to it. And I was like, I love it. They're like, yeah, we're the bureau. We're the police.
Yeah.
And they're like, what's like, imagine it's just being like, his taillights out. Let's fucking shoot him.
Hey, RCAB, right? All reality cops are
Yeah.
bastards.
It's great.
Yeah, so they do want to.
Do we need an RCAB shirt?
Sure.
RCAB all
for
reality
cutie.
police.
Yeah.
RCAB for cutie. All reality. Yeah. It's crazy.
RCAB's a thing.
Yeah. Fucking RCAB.
But they do want to put him to sleep forever.
They literally are going to fucking kill him. They're going to put him down like an old
The
dog.
eternal sleep. And he's not excited about that. So he goes to sleep hoping that like all this will go away, basically, because it has before.
He's been teleported and shit. Like it doesn't. Also, this is where it shifts from being like, at first we're like, oh, it's a interesting way to be like it was all a dream.
Yeah.
No. Oh no, it's a haunted bed.
No.
Oh, it's just a kid who. It just is. It's just when he sleeps, I guess.
Yeah, like the bed is the catalyst, but ultimately it's just him now. Like he's just in the warp. So if he goes to sleep,
it's like
anywhere,
herpes. He got it once, and he's pulling it around with him.
Exactly, 100%.
And the only way to stop spreading it is to kill him.
Yeah, and cut off his little dangle. So So he goes to sleep, and he wakes up, and he's a person. Right?
No, he wakes up and he's a squirrel.
Yeah, but isn't there one where he's like a person again? Or that's after that, I guess.
Oh, they lock him up, and he wakes up as a 14-year-old kid. And he falls asleep once, and he's a 14-year-old kid, and that's when they tell him he's the reality cops and
right.
Arcad.
That's very brief.
And he fell into a reality hole in his guest room, and then he hears them saying that they need to kill him.
Yeah.
So he goes to sleep, and he wakes up as a squirrel.
Right. Now that's perfect, right? Because there's a little window with bars. You could just squirrel right through those.
Classic jail.
Classic. Yep.
You ever go to a jail?
Yeah.
Especially one in a log cabin where they're like windows, screens.
Yeah.
No, just bars.
I went to jail once because they arrested me and they took me out of my house, and I said, "What is this for?" And they were like, "Dude, your dick's too big." They're just like, your hog is not regulation size.
So they locked you up in a room.
Yeah.
With just bars.
Yeah.
It's like when you rap. Just bars, man.
Just bars, baby.
Just bars.
You know what I did? I lassoed.
Luckily, you were able to wedge your dick into between the bars and get erect and blow the window off.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it was like in T2, it was like the T1000's metal arm. I like turned it into like a pry, and the metal was like, and I just pried the bars open.
And then you fucking jumped into lava, and your dick made a thumbs up as it went down.
Yeah, and that fucking badass music played.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway.
He's a squirrel, and he runs home.
Yes.
He runs home, and then he is like tries to sneak in, and like this part's fucking wild because like he waits in the windowsill and sees his sister and brother and mom. Another reality with dead dad, and his sister's just like, look at that squirrel in the window, and she like walks over and like opens the window to be like, hey squirrel, and then she's like, hey mom, look, this squirrel came into our house because it likes me.
Yes. Yeah. And they're like, her mom's like, oh, it's probably got bugs.
Yeah. It's probably got rabies. You better catch it with your hands and get it out.
Yeah, like,
so she like catches it.
Yeah, it's very, I thought that line was so funny because she did say, she was like, it might have rabies, and if not, it definitely has bugs. What the fuck?
It's just wild.
Like,
it's just crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, but she does the mom does make Pam like get rid of the squirrel, but Pam disobeys and locks Matt, the squirrel, up in a little cage.
Yeah. But luckily, he has a giant squirrel.
That's right.
Because he's been storing his nuts.
Yeah, that's right, baby.
No, she puts him in like a hamster cage, and he just like fucking breaks out.
Yeah.
It's just another waste of pages.
Yeah.
So he and then he gets out of the house, and he's like, I'll just sleep in this tree and wake up as something else and then come inside. So he wakes up, and this is when he becomes an obese child.
That's right.
The reason they did this is so that he would have trouble running from the reality police.
Yeah.
His mom doesn't know who he is.
Yeah.
So, of course, he's just like, no, trust me, I'm your son. Just let me sleep in the room upstairs.
Yeah.
And they're like, wrong house.
Yeah,
Go away.
absolutely not.
So the reality police finds him and chases him, but he's so large that he can't run fast and also gets winded easily and hides in like the neighbor's backyard. and like shimmies up the side of the house and breaks into his bedroom.
Yeah.
Because he's just like, you know what? Maybe if I sleep in my old bed, it'll fix everything.
Yeah. And pardon me, my yawn. I'm so fucking bored with this book. I don't understand what the logic is there, like how it's the antidote to the guest room. The whole thing is like, I don't. This shouldn't exist. Like, it's actually amazing that he wrote 118 pages about nothing.
Yeah, but also it's a moving target too. Like, he never really committed to anything.
No.
Because if it's like, so it, spoiler alert. Well, no, this is the end of the fucking book.
This is it.
It fixes everything.
Yeah.
He sleeps in his old bed and it fixes everything. But like, shouldn't it fix it when he's sleeping on the floor of a room twice or in a tree or
right?
Like, why his old room?
Yeah. What magic does that have?
What fucking passive aggressive time warp house that's just like, no, this is your room.
Yeah.
I'll break time if you don't sleep in your room.
So it's like a weird
what the fuck?
room seesaw. It's like if you go over here, it's quicksand, but if you go over here, you're good.
And why even, like, he has all those red herrings. I wouldn't even call it a red herring that he is forced to sleep in the guest room and all the other realities, because it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It has no bearing on the story, and the fix doesn't make any sense.
No, there's no explanation for the fix. Just as there's no explanation for the guest room. There's no explanation for anything. And as I said, normally I like when the book goes right to it. But this, like, there's a few pages that establish who he is and that he has siblings and stuff. And then it just starts. Like, it's just like, well, you're in a loop now.
Yeah.
And I don't like it. Like, it's like, why? Why is he in a loop?
It's the weird thing too is that I have a card of R.L. Stine right in front of, and he's staring at me. So like a photo of him while I'm sitting here. I just looked up and caught eyes with him, like he's mad that I'm shitting on his book.
No.
But also, like, why even so? Goosebumps books. He says that there is no moral. He just wants to get kids to read. This seems like one where he tried to shoehorn a moral where it's like, be thankful for the life you have.
Sure, you could take that away.
But like, once he hits that moral, he's like, fuck, how do I fix this?
Yeah.
All right. Everything was good. Happily ever after the end.
Yeah.
But then the twist, of course, is like it's not even like a twist. It's one of those silly jokes where it's like, like, what's gonna happen? Like, it's stupid.
Yeah.
Explain it, please.
Yeah, it's also, not only is it nothing, but it's a nothing that's been done 1,000 times before and since way better. Like, It's a Wonderful Life, right? Like, it's, like you said, be careful what you wish for, and also be grateful for what you have.
Yeah.
I don't know, but the book ends with like, he's back to his reality. Up there goes gravity, and mom's acquiesces and says, like, I considered your request to sleep in the guest room, and we're gonna make it your room now. And actually, all his stuff is now in there. She moved it for him
because she's like, I stayed home to do this, and he was like, oh yeah, I forgot it was my birthday.
Yeah.
And she's like, guess what? Your new room is this room. So.
Oh my! How's he gonna get out of this one? It's Hey, is that guy who was here a few episodes ago who was saying, "Shut the door, baby"? It's the same guy.
He left. Shut the door, baby.
Baby.
Don't say a word. Shut the door, baby.
Don't sleep in the guest room.
Yeah. Don't sleep in the guest room. All right. So what's good?
Okay. What is good? I have 3 things.
Nice.
Early on, like page 1, 2, I like the brother is carrying around like a tape recorder for like school or something. And he, R.L. Stine uses this as a tool to provide exposition about the characters, specifically Matt. So usually Stine will say, like, I'm different than the rest of my family. I'm blonde and my mom has brown hair. But this time it was the same, but it was from the POV of the brother into the tape recorder or whatever. It was just a nice way to break the monotony of constant, because it's without fail. Every single book is like that. So just to have it a little bit different was nice.
Agreed.
Um,
I have that too. It's on page 2.
Yeah.
Where it's like, Matt is skinny, small for his age, with a round, pig-like baby face.
Yeah.
He's explaining him into the tape recorder as he's doing like a Jack Hanna impersonation, but it's also shitting on him too.
Yep.
Like the line where he says like, Matt's hair is so blonde that from a distance he almost looks bald.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, it's very funny.
It is.
It's pretty
It's
funny.
good. And yeah, he goes on and says Matt's natural habitat is a small bedroom filled with science fiction books, etc. And on page 4, Matt says, let me just read the part of the page here. It says, "Give me that tape recorder for a second," Pam said to Greg. She snatched it from him and yelled into the microphone. "The geek is down, thanks to me, Pamela Amsterdam. The world is safe for cool people again. Woo, woo, woo." And he, on a separate line, it says, "I hate my life." I thought that was kind of fun. And then on page 74, oh God, this is when he's like a lizard monster and he's eating a car. And it says, nice of that person to leave. Oh, yeah. It was the man flung the car door open. "No," he cried. "Don't hurt me. Leave me alone." He ran to hide somewhere. It was nice of him to leave me his car. I thought that was kind of cute. And then also he eats it and he says, "Delicious, nice, cool chrome." Which reminds me of shout out listener Kathy, friend of the pod Kathy. We used to watch Ghost Hunters together, and there was an episode where like they went to some jail or some shit, and one of the investigators, Steve, was told about like they had a prisoner who used to like eat metal and he would like eat his bed and stuff, and we always thought that was very funny. But anyway, that's it. That's all I have for good. What about you?
Good. First I have the magic card I found in the book.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that's a plus.
The Magic the Gathering card. This is good. I got this for free, technically. It was like a plus. It was a good book. It was a good thing in the book.
That's a good book.
On page 2, I really liked the mixing up of the character descriptions. I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
I really just liked Matt's voice in this book. It was very strong and matter of fact and kind of funny. Like he was a real hoot, and I enjoyed that about him. Like he was just very direct when he's like, "I'm your father," and he's like, "You're not my dad. He died when I was a baby." Like, it was like very matter of fact statements. He was like, "The fuck's your problem?" Like he just, even when he's like, "My room is fucking shit and I hate it." Like he's just very matter of fact and funny.
We Matts are strong.
Like on page 57, I loved this. He had to put on his like costume for the circus, and it just says this: "I pulled on the costume. It fit me like a second skin. I felt like a total jerk." It was just like, I wore it. Fuck this shit.
Yeah.
Like, it was just how the pacing was really good, and it was very strong character voice. I wrote all of page 61 is incredible.
Wow.
This is so good. This is when he is at the circus, and I feel like this is great RLS comedic timing. Great character voice. I greatly appreciated this. I'll say great one more time.
Lay it on me, bad boy.
I'll skip the beginning. It's all about the lion. He said, "I heard that the lion stared at me. He sniffed the air. I've heard that animals can smell fear. This lion got a noseful. My father," in quotes, the lion tamer, stood beside me in the cage. "We're trying a new trick today, Matt," he said. "You're going to ride the lion." He might as well have punched me in the stomach. I was going to ride the lion? Yeah, right. Some father this guy is, I thought, feeding his own son to a lion. The lion stood up. I kept my eyes on him. My whole body shook with fear. Roar! The lion's breath blew my face like a hot wind. My hair stood on end. The lion stepped toward us. Dad cracked his whip. Ha! The lion stepped back, licking his chops. "Go on, boy," Dad boomed at me. "Climb on Hercules' back." Then he slid it up to his shoulders. I'll crack the whip. I couldn't say a word. I just stared at the man in total disbelief. It's fun.
It's good. It is fun.
I just love. He's like, "Look at this fucker feeding his son to us." Like, it's really fun. I don't know. I thought that was very good. So that's all my good.
I also want to say, "Ride the lion" is like a nice. It reminds me of an expression that people use to like go to the bathroom. Like, I'm gonna go lay some pipe or something.
I think laying pipe means having sex.
Yeah, I think it does too.
Drain the lizard.
Drain the lizard. Ride the lion.
I'm gonna go ride the lion.
Yeah.
From now on, I'm gonna ride the lion. What does that mean? Oh, I'm gonna take a shit.
Hey,
why? How?
That's a T-shirt. Ride the lion.
ride the lion.
Yeah. So what? How about bad? What do you think was bad?
I didn't like that one of the adjectives he used for the Klingons while describing them was warlike, but he was talking about like physical descriptions,
Okay.
and that just seemed alien racist to me. I don't even like Star Trek, but it felt alien racist. I hate that when he turns 16, his whole bedroom is filled with clothes that are brand new and he's never seen before, and they all fit him. But for a couple pages, he still feels like this is a prank that his brother is playing on him, who looks younger than he used to.
Yeah.
Like, not even fucking Ashton Kutcher can do this with MTV's Punk'd.
My favorite show.
Yeah, I hate it on page 43. He said, except I live in a completely different family. And he was just how he was saying it. It was just kind of weird to be like, I live in a family.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was describing it. And then I was like, not even as part of. It was just like, I live in it.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
yeah. It's just awkward.
It's strange. It was just weirdly placed. And I don't want to read the whole paragraph that it was awkwardly placed in. But that was what I hated. Okay, so on page 45, there was like, he had a chocolate cupcake because it was lunch, but for breakfast. And in the quote, when he was looking at the chocolate cupcake, and it said, I can't face it this early in the morning.
Can't face the cupcake?
It was just, I don't know. It just seems really strange. A strange way. One of those, like, kids don't talk like this. No one really talks like this, and I guess it made sense.
Yeah.
Like, she did, all right. Bologna and ketchup and white bread. A little plastic bag full of blah, blah, blah. Everything I hate. Lacey held out a chocolate cupcake. Want this? I can't face it this early in the morning. Thanks. I took the cupcake.
Yeah.
What?
Like, it's not like a...
Here, have this cupcake. I can't face it this early in the
Right.
morning.
She's saying... She's treating it like it's bad news or like a history of guilt or something.
Like, yeah, I can't come to grips with this
Yeah.
cupcake this early. It was just so... I was like, why choose the... I guess it could make sense, but it's just so bizarre.
Yeah.
There was a lot of weird things like that. I hated on page 55, the dad, where it said, he laughed loud and deep like an evil Santa Claus.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, that's weird. Yeah. He farted big like a reality's version of Fat Bastard from Austin Powers. Like, it's just like, why? Just do a better description.
Yeah.
Than, like, take a fictional character and change it.
Right.
Just be like, he had a black beard and had a booming laugh like an evil Santa Claus. Like a reverse evil Santa Claus. Like, that would have been more... Like, he's an all, like, Santa Claus with dark features. He's evil. Like, that would mean more than, like, he had a loud voice, like Santa Claus, who was evil. Like, I don't fucking care. Shut up. You did it wrong. Yeah, that's what I got. How about you?
Cool. On page 24, I wrote girl stuff, which I think was referring to...
Someone had their period.
I think was referring to a first period.
You mean
first
months?
period of school? Yeah. This was Anna Karina, and it says, I mean, he basically just describes the book. He says, it was something about people going to balls and some guy wanting to marry Princess Kitty. Girl stuff. I yawned. And I know that when you're 13 or whatever, that is something you might say. But also, A, he's in high school at this part of the book, and B, that's fucking stupid. Leave it out of the book. Not necessary. On page 75, I wrote down Rice Krispies. Oh, yeah, when Matt is eating cars, it says, well, duh, I thought, what do you expect a monster to eat? Rice Krispies. And I
got him.
I think that sucks.
Showed him what's up.
Yeah. Not
Hells
good.
yeah.
Did not enjoy it.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a tense change on page 78, which is like we're in present tense and then we're in past tense and then we're back in present tense, but it's jarring. At the bottom of page 78, it says, I snarled and kicked for a long time, but no matter what I did, I was still trapped. At last, I got tired. I lay on my back on the floor.
Ugh.
You could just say I laid, right? And just keep it consistent. Then when we move on to the next paragraph, we're back in present. That would be better.
It would be.
Page 85, again, reality police. Don't like that. I don't like that was used at all. Like, just call them something else.
Also, they're bad cops if they just go straight to murder.
Yeah, right. We'll give you
They're
a
like, I'm sorry, kid. Like, their whole job is to fix reality, and they finally find someone ruining reality, and they're like, oh shit, let's just kill him.
yeah.
Because it's like, if you need to find and describe this person's job, like, they're not cops. They're not upholding peace or anything. They're not detectives. They're not trying to figure anything out. If they should be called like reality hunters or something.
Right.
Like,
yeah, for sure.
if their first thing is like, oh, we should fucking kill them.
Yeah.
They would be like, you know.
We can just call them murderers.
Well, I guess you can just call them. Anyway. It depends.
Our cap. On page 108.
All we'll say is that if they successfully killed this kid who was destroying reality, they'd probably just have like a month off paid. Anyway.
Desk duty for a month.
Oh, man,
Unrecoverable.
And it's just because I killed a kid again.
Yeah. How many kids are there in the world? Come on.
I told you, he slept outside of his bedroom. And not like when Margaret makes me sleep on the couch.
Ah, Marge.
By the way, we're Bruce Wayne, just like the Batman. Oh yeah, by the way, the reality police's their names were Bruce and Wayne.
Right. Hey.
And Lacey, like the type of underwear that Batman wears.
I'm Dave, as you know, I let you know that I broke out my Xbox 360, which is the last console that I ever bought. My wife, my lovely wife, bought a Switch.
Wife.
Yeah, Borat voice. My wife bought a Switch, so we have that. But the last like console that I had that was like exciting to buy a new console was an Xbox 360, which was 15 years ago, and holds up. Like I've been playing Arkham Asylum because I've never played it, and it's good.
It's good.
Yeah. Did you play
Xbox
that?
360 was one of those weird systems that's like in a Nintendo 64 or like anything, you could like kick it down the fucking stairs.
Yeah.
But like Xbox 360 was one of the ones where like you can breathe on it and it would just fucking die. So it blows my mind that it still works.
Yeah.
Like my Left 4 Dead disc, do you remember like the first Left 4 Dead?
Yeah.
It like just read it wrong and just like scorched a line through it. And it stopped working forever. And I called Xbox. They're like, yeah, it'll do that sometimes. And I'm like, do I bring it in to get it fixed? And they're like, nah, I mean, those just happen to even the ones that are working.
Wow.
And I'm like, oh, it's cool.
Cool,
Like, it was just,
yeah,
it was
that's
wild.
great.
Speaking of which, this world is a scary place. What was your top spook and
Oh
scare?
my God. Well, I have to say it was whatever I wrote down here. Page 62. I think this was the, yes, it was. It was the circus reality. And that father called Matt a coward, which is like not awesome for a dad to call their young son a coward for also a very logical reason, which is he didn't want to get in the cage with a hungry lion.
That also maimed his brother.
Correct. So that was scary to me, an unsupportive, abusive dad. How about you?
Mine is also parent related.
La la.
So at the end, you know that the root, like the guest room is magic and it hurts reality.
Yeah.
And his mom's like, I stayed home from work. It's your birthday. I don't have much, but I took this time to make this yours because I love you. Mm-hmm. Uh-oh. Like, whoa, like crazy. Yeah. But obviously he's going to break reality again if he sleeps there, right? The spook and scare is that like with how sweet this mom is and how much she cares about her kids and how thoughtful, like she works 2 jobs constantly. She sometimes just gets like an hour or something to sleep between her shifts when they cook dinner. And she's the breadwinner. She has to be working. She has to do these things, but she takes a day off, which is huge for her, just to show her son how much she loves him and how important he is. I don't think I couldn't not sleep in that room for my mom. That's my spook and scare, that I would go through it all over again, just not to upset my mom, who is the sweetest person. Like, I would end reality just not to disappoint that mom. Like, that would be, like, obviously you're like, no, fuck you, you're going to ruin the world. But, like, reading this, I was like, that puts me in such an anxious moment. I'd be like, literally after reading this book, I was like, would I sleep in that room and hope that, like, it didn't do it again?
Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, the other thing too is like, this is how far I thought about it. Like, I would be like, you know what? I'm going to sleep one last night in my old room just to say goodbye and see if I woke up and things were normal. And then I would do it the next night. Yeah. Because you can't just let her down. She's just so sweet.
Yeah. Yeah.
A widow who's done everything for these kids and took time off where she's going to have to work more to keep the family afloat just for your birthday because you're like, she loves you. Yeah. I'll ruin society for you, Mom. Thanks.
Reality sucks anyway.
Yeah. What, these cops going to come and fucking shoot me? Like,
whatever. Bringing on a sick lion on them.
Fuck you. Yeah. All right. What's the next one? Best dressed.
On page 22, there's like this unnamed teacher in his high school reality that stops him in the hallway. And it says, I wandered down the hall. Another bell rang. Another teacher, a short, dumpy man with glasses, stepped into the hallway to close his classroom door. He spotted me. I just like short, dumpy man. I think he should get some attention.
Short, dumpy man.
Because he's been kind of dunked on here by RL, so.
I like a short, manly dump. Mine is on page 72. It's him as the monster. He's in the bathroom, and he says, I was big, almost 7 feet tall, and powerful. My skin was a scaly green with black stripes like a lizard. I oozed slime all over. He was like, am I a lizard? Oh! And just like,
God,
slime the whole
bathroom.
wall.
What's he doing in there? Riding the lion?
Yeah. What are the other ones we do?
Alternate title, which I think, as you know, is going to be Riding the Lion.
Ride the Lion. I don't fucking know. This book
Yours
doesn't
is
like
RCAB.
RCAB. Okay. Thanks. Yep. You did both of them. I love it. Thank you.
Anything to really speed through this dumb bullshit.
Dodge that bullet.
Baby.
What's the other?
Oh, Where's the Witch? Well, what do you think? I think it's got to be the guest room.
I was going to say Lacey.
Oh, sure. But she's like a cop.
No, but they're the cops. And she's just like their helper.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
She's just like a magic girl.
Yeah, that's true.
She's like a little girl who's like, we're adults and we're cops. And she's just like, yeah, I'm like the little girl who the cops used to trick you to get murdered.
Yeah, that is nefarious.
It's either that or it's the guest room. Or actually, it's Grandma and Grandpa.
Because it's their room.
Yeah, they're the only ones that use the guest
what are they,
room. So they probably did like mind-blowing old people sex that was so hot. Like, it made God so horny for watching it that it broke the reality. They fucked so hard in the guest room that time itself had to stop.
Damn.
So it's definitely Grandma and Grandpa are the witch and wizard that fucked so hard that they broke the guest room with their dicks and vagina. Their vagina and dick.
Wow.
Broke reality.
Yeah, I wonder if I had that room as my room in high school, I wonder if I would have had sex. Do you think?
In the guest room?
Yeah, like if that was my room and it was magic, if that would have helped me have sex, if that would have created a reality in which I was not a virgin. Do you think?
Imagine if he was just like, it's like, I woke up. I was 18 years old, and I could tell that I definitely fucked. I looked in the mirror and I was like, yeah, not a virgin.
I bent down and I sniffed my dick. Yeah, it stunk. And my balls, they were wretched.
Day 435. Is this my pube? Yup. Is this my pube? Maybe. Probably still a virgin. Day 436.
Wait.
Found a box of condoms.
Dave.
All sealed.
Is now we're on episode 54, but I think it's important to
Okay.
see. I have my pen here. I'm writing a new
See.
category. Is this my pube?
Brian, you finally got one. We'll name it after Brian. Brian, this might be.
This is a question we ask Brian every episode.
Yeah. Wait, I don't understand how this would even work in a book.
So let's do this. Let's rendezvous with Brian after he's hopefully listened to the episode, and we'll ask.
Don't talk to him about it though. Don't talk to him. Like,
not a word.
I just want him. He's gonna like text you mad that like we've sullied his name with. Is this my pube?
Brian, is this my pube? And I'll just whatever he wants to say.
And then at the end, we'll probably, my idea for it is just like, we'll be like, all right, now that point, is this my pube? And then we'll be like, 1, 2, 3, and we say it at the same time. Ready? Like 1, 2, 3.
No.
Yes. Okay. Cool. Good to know.
Cool. This works really well. I think that's really good. Now, Brian, I think your answer should just be yes or no, and don't provide any explanation.
Yeah. Yes or no. And then most luscious liquor is definitely when he's a lizard guy and he's jizzing all over the bathroom.
That's
and then
good.
He goes and eats a car. He eats a car.
I wrote it was the
lips.
lion because he was licking his chops. But you're right.
Okay. He licked down a whole car. He slobbered down a whole
Yeah.
Toyota Corolla.
Hey, before we put this to bed, I have a question. He isn't.
Don't go to bed. You'll break reality.
Hey, is that Sugar Ray guy?
My landlord's gonna hate me for screaming this at 10:30
It's
at
like, what's
night.
Dave hanging out with a little kid? He keeps saying "uh oh" like a child.
Yeah.
Um,
And Dave keeps peeing his pants and screaming. Is this my pube?
oh. You know what? I don't even care.
What do you? No, say it.
It's not funny or good. I was just gonna say.
Yeah, but you are. You're
Oh
funny
well,
and good.
thank you. I was gonna say, in the book when he's in the jail cell, he describes it as being totally barren, and it just bothered me that there was no toilet in there.
Oh,
That's it. So
that's
about
say
it.
about this. That's all I gotta say about
Okay,
that.
Dave,
though.
you got anything else for the people?
Yeah, we're coming back next week. Great episode, probably. We got next book in line is Blob That Ate All the Shit in the World Ever
Yeah.
by R.L.
The shit gobbler.
And we got 2 special guests. I think this is the most guests we've ever had on one episode.
God. Yeah, it's a lot of hot mics. Now, usually with podcasts, I draw the line
Yeah,
at
it's 2
3
different
people.
Michaels.
Yeah, it's two
There's
different
2
Michaels.
different Michaels, and they're
And
fucking
hot as hell.
We got Magic Mike.
Mm-hmm. Got Magic Mike XL.
Both of them. We got Magic Mike and his good friend Magic Mike Extra Large.
That's right. And me, they call me Magic Mike XS. You know why, Dave?
Magic Matt. Magic Matt.
Magic Matt XS.
3XL. But like you're such a big XXL that you look like the shirts little Bow Wow we used to wear.
I have to wear tunics like Shrek.
Bow Wow.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Bye.